Chainlink has been on fire lately. They've had this huge Chainlink reserve that's just blowing up. Everyone's super excited about it because it's actually taking off-chain profits and putting it back into Chainlink. But what we want to talk about today is some Chainlink wins for Q3. Now, Chainlink put out this report, so you have to take that into consideration that it is Chainlink saying this, not like Masari or something like that. But I still think it's worth highlighting some of these wins in our Chainlink segment. So why don't we dive into exactly what happened in Q3. All right, so this is Chainlink wins Q3, right from Chainlink themselves. So like I said, you got to take it with a grain of salt, but this is what they're talking about. Partnered with the U.S. Department of Commerce to bring government macroeconomic data on chain for the first time. That's huge, by the way. That's just item number one. Working with the U.S. Department of Commerce. That's huge, okay? And you know what? You want this stuff to be on-chain. I think it's, like I said, more government stuff in general needs to be on-chain so it's more transparent. That's something I feel very strongly about. So yeah, I'm big on this. That's huge for sure. Adopted by leading financial institutions for a variety of tokenized financial use cases, including SWIFT, UBS, DTCC, Euroclear, and more. I actually covered the SWIFT and the DTCC news, so awesome to see that highlighted here. Big deal, for sure. Either one of these would have been huge Q3s in and of themselves. Introduced the digital transfer agent technical standard to enable existing transfer agents and fund admins to extend their operations on-chain to support tokenized funds. Launched DataLink, a new institutional-grade turnkey data publishing solution for data providers, already adopted by Deutsche Börse. I don't know what that is. I'll be 100% honest. I know Deutsche is, it's German something or another, but Börse, no idea. Börse? Is that how you say it? I don't know. Accumulated a growing total of 523,159 link in the Chainlink Reserve. Now, we talked about this Chainlink Reserve, which is a pretty recent announcement from Chainlink, but they're basically taking off-chain revenues and putting them on-chain so you guys benefit, holding them in reserve. So it's basically taking profits, funneling them into the coin, which I think is awesome. I think more chains should be doing stuff like this, but you have to have off-chain services first. It's a great idea, and I think it's awesome. Even on-chain services, you're still going to get revenues probably. They're probably going to come to you off-chain, right? Like if Algorand goes out and sells, crypto as a service, and they're going to get paid in US dollar. They're going to send an invoice and get a check probably, right? So they can funnel that back into an Algorand reserve, or at least to start with would be to stop the selling. But anyway, I think this Chainlink reserve is awesome. There is now over 500,000 link in the Chainlink reserve. That's quite a bit of money because I think Chainlink's what, $17 as we speak. That's a lot. If it's $20, that's like 200 million, right? Is that 20 million? I'm so bad at math. Never mind. No, that'd be like 2 million. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Released an updated. No. Yeah. 20 million. Okay. 10 million. It'd be 10 million because, yeah, never mind. Let's pretend I can do math in my head. Anyway, released an updated Chainlink Vision, the only all-in-one platform providing the key data interoperability, compliance, privacy, and orchestration requirements for institutional tokenization at global scale. I just love their focus on data and interoperability. This is why I love Chainlink. I think it's great. It's one of the most underrated projects in all of crypto, in my opinion. But that is not all of our Chainlink news. We have, this is from Kelp. The internet has made everything on demand, from information to money. The next challenge, liquidity and credit. Global payments moves $220 trillion plus annually, yet trillions sit idle in pre-funded accounts. Stablecoins solve speed, not liquidity. Interesting. Yeah, speed, big problem here. And the flow of money too. When you say speed, I think they actually mean like velocity of money, which is a really important concept. The more money moves, the better. Introducing Cred, the Internet of Credit, At its core is KUSD, a fully collateralized rewards-bearing stablecoin backed by real-world payments. Colonel Dow's latest report by all those guys, with contributions from these guys, Ash Morgan, I don't know what that is, Ethereum Foundation Enterprise, and Chainlink explores how cred can replace pre-funding with on-demand verifiable credit, unlocking $5 trillion in idle capital. Now, what does Chainlink have to say about this? It says they were highlighted in the new research report by Colonel Dow in collaboration with the Ethereum Foundation Enterprise. Chainlink provides the institutional-grade infrastructure that stablecoins require to meet the security, auditability, interoperability, I just say interoperability, and composability requirements essential for global payment applications. Chainlink isn't just providing data, it's architecting, that's a new one. It's architecting the trust layer for global finance. When Ethereum builds the rails and Chainlink verifies the flow, you're not watching a partnership, you're witnessing the foundation of the on-chain credit economy forming in real time. It had to go past the limit just to add that little link thing. That's funny. Just one more cool piece of news for Chainlink. Chainlink is like the background, the really, really important background layer for Web3. It's awesome. We got more, by the way. We're not done yet. Not by a long shot. SP Global Ratings and Chainlink bring stablecoin risk scores on chain. DeFi protocols and institutions can now access real-time stability assessments via Chainlink data. I want to read more about this because I'll admit I don't understand a lot of that sentence. Actually, maybe we should. S&P Ratings and Chainlink have partnered to deliver S&P Global Ratings stablecoin stability assessments directly on chain via Chainlink data link, according to a press release shared with BSCN. The integration makes real-time risk assessments of leading stablecoins accessible to DeFi protocols, lending platforms, and institutional investors for the first time. S&P Global Ratings SSAs evaluate stablecoins based on their ability to maintain stable value relative to fiat currencies. The framework uses a scale of 1 very strong to 5 weak and provides a deep, independent assessment of stablecoin stability. While these assessments are not credit ratings, they reflect asset quality, governance frameworks, regulatory compliance, liquidity, and redeemability. That's really awesome. So what I'm wondering, hold on, I got to check this out because is that the same as like the S&P 500? What are we seeing here? I mean, they got that right up here. Here's their collaboration, but is there like an about? Not really. I don't know if that's the same or different than the S&P 500, if it's related or not. So, is what it is. I think we got more Chainlink though, so let's stay tuned. We got more Chainlink. Chainlink Data Streams is officially live on Mega ETH as its first of its kind native real-time Oracle solution integrated directly with its execution environment to power next generation DeFi markets. Mega ETH Labs is delivering data streams to build the first real-time blockchain with 10 millisecond block times and 100,000 transactions per second. That's really fast. So I wonder how well that's going to work. I don't know a lot about Mega ETH. It's definitely interesting. You know, I'm going to follow it just because I think it's interesting, and maybe who knows? Maybe I'll look into it more deeply. But this is pretty interesting. That's some pretty fast. 100,000 plus transactions per second would be a lot. You know, the problem is a lot of times you don't have enough actual transactions to test this out. You know, I mean, Algorand goes up to like, it's been clocked at over 10,000. Its theoretical limit is 10,000, but it's actually, we've had blocks with 15,000 already. So, you know, 100,000 is a lot. That's a lot of transactions have to happen for that to be the case. And we kind of already talked about this news, so I guess that's pretty much it for our Chainlink. You want to see the price? We can look at the Chainlink price. Let's go take a look at that for a second before we conclude here. We're going to have to go to full screen, I think, here. You know, I said $17 before. It's actually $16.58 right now. This is the 1 year. If we look at the week, down a bit on the week, was up at around $21. So that's quite a drop. If you're looking for an entry on Chainlink, might not be a bad one, but I'll pull up the trading view too. I don't know if you guys gonna be able to see this. I might have to move this over a little bit. Yeah, you can see it. Let's pull up our indicators. I really love to put in relative strength and Bollinger Bands. Yeah, we see we had a bounce off of it. We were oversold. No, not a lot of. Are we on the 4 hour? Let's get on the 4 hour. Yeah, still the same. We actually hit that oversold territory. So usually when you hit this, you get a nice bounce off of it. And that's kind of what we're seeing the start of, is that bounce off of dipping below the Bollinger Band. That's a good sign. When you dip below the Bollinger Band, that is a sign that you're about to pop up. You barely see it where it doesn't pop up quite a bit from there. So, you know, you might not get back. You know, that's the thing. You might not get back to levels. But if you're entering here, these are usually good entry points. Not always, but usually. Anyway, still an oversold territory, popping up just above that, what we'd really call oversold, usually about that 30. It's the reason why they have this purple zone here, is so you can see it pretty clearly. But that's what's going on with Chainlink today. So yeah, a big shout out to Chainlink, doing great stuff. You know, yes, the price is down right now, but that's usually because everything else is down. The macro conditions just aren't great. And a lot of stuff has crashed just because of the bank sentiment earlier today. So I'm still pretty bullish on Chainlink overall.